Hey, what's up, brother? This is my first attempt at a 3D holster, 3D printed holster. This is in PLA. This is not the finished product. So it's PLA in standard settings, and I believe the brand of PLA is White Creality. That's all I had on hand. This is a Glock 30, Gen 3 with the recover rail and an Olight Balder S. So you can imagine the options for holster are pretty limited, if not non-existent. So outside of making a Kydex holster, which I make experiment with, I had to make my own. And I'm pretty happy with the results. You can see this is a very, very close measurement fit, and at the end it snugs up. It's almost able to support its weight without falling out when upside down, but not quite. I could increase the tolerances such that it's a tighter fit at the bottom. Most of the retention, I believe, is coming from this part, which I'm going to round off. I'm not sure if I'm going to cover the face or not. This was done in Fusion 360. I'm also experimenting, but so far haven't had any success with another feature, which I may still continue to experiment with. Is I made these cutouts for these magnets I purchased on Amazon, and of course the idea is to give this a little more retention. I don't think it makes a huge difference. These are neodymium magnets purchased on Amazon. I believe they are, I know they're 60 millimeters long. I want to say that's 8 or 9 millimeters tall, and I believe they're 2.75 millimeters thick. And I made another cutout for one right here, and that's a really snug fit, but it does fit, and it goes all the way in there, and there's a way to push that up there further if I want it to. I also made holes on the other side to allow for the magnets to be removed. So yeah, and going in, I don't really notice much difference in terms of holster retention. Maybe a little bit, but not significant. There's not much distance between the magnet and the wall here. Of course, I could open that up and make a grid where some parts are open, some parts are not. The thickness in this channel right here between the magnet is thicker, and we could open that up to see if that increases. But honestly, I may not continue with that experiment, only because it's a pretty snug fit without the magnets. They might give us a tiny bit more retention. Of course, if I added some more magnets, maybe even more. You can see I haven't done anything with the mounting system yet. That's going to be next. I printed some of these, found on Thingiverse. These are Tecklok inspired belt clips. Okay, this one is printed in PETG standard settings, and believe it or not, it's held together with a piece of filament melted on both sides. Now, I may not leave it like that, but there's a pin stock that you can buy on Amazon cheap to fit that hole and make it strong. I could also print this in, I believe this is 15% infill. I could, of course, up that and up the walls. Let me see. There's a few others I've printed. I printed some other Tecklok inspired. One of these is printed in 100%. This is PLA, by the way, the same as the gun. And these are extremely stiff. Very hard to deal with. You really got to get down on it to get it to clip. So if you're looking for something really sturdy and you don't think you're going to be exposed to any really, I think this is the 100 one because this one's even harder. If you don't think you're going to be exposed to any super hot temperatures and you don't plan on leaving it in the car, these will absolutely work, and I believe they will work very well. So I wouldn't necessarily entirely discount a holster just because it's printed it's 3D printed. I would recommend PETG over PLA, although PLA is really rigid. It's the temperature resistance that's the problem. And it's the reason why the final one's not going to be printed in PLA either, although PLA prints beautifully. The tolerances are extremely accurate. PETG is going to be a little more of a challenge, but not much. It just might require a little more time. Here's another tecklok. I think I like this one the best. This is also printed in PETG. I like this one because it has the belt shim. And it also has, you probably can't see it because this camera will not focus well. Come on. Anyways, these edges are beveled, and these edges are beveled so that you can just push it down like that. Of course, we can print this in higher settings for PETG. This is, again, just an experiment. And the idea is to probably get something like that going on. Or we may do a belt loop attachment and then put this on that. In any event, I'm extremely satisfied. I would trust this holster. I wouldn't trust it as an everyday, like if you're a police officer and it's constantly bumping around, getting in and out of cars, etc., etc. And the only reason why I wouldn't trust it for that, if that were my line of duty, is just because it's not proven. No officer, no person in the Army has, as far as I know, used a 3D printed holster with the intensity and rigors of everyday use, bumping, it getting wet, it getting sand on it, exposed to varying temperatures, heating up, cooling off, who knows. But if this is something where you're carrying it for civilian use, non-law enforcement, I would absolutely trust it. And the only thing I would say is in your model, you printed on the belt clip. I would just not even bother with that. Unless you're going with like, you know, carbon fiber nylon or something. Those printed on belt loops will absolutely break. There's just no way around it. There's too much going on there that they won't. Or you'd have to get really creative with your design. So there's that. Oh, one last thing. This is something else I made for the Glock 30. I believe this is a Glock 21 magazine with 13 rounds, but the Glock 30 only comes with 10, so we've been using the Glock 21 magazines to get a few more rounds in there, and of course this void is annoying, and so there's versions of this out, but I wasn't happy with any of them. Most of them are just flat, no design. I tried to keep true to the Glock design there. That was my best ability to imitate that. And I'm very, very happy with the end product. It fits extremely well, and I added the pinky rest right there, and it fits my hand like a glove. So I'm extremely happy with this. That was just me goofing around, seeing what it would look like if I embossed an SVG file. So that's what that's about. And so that's it. So this is also for the poor folks out there who are feeling extremely neglected by the industry, who are Glock 30 owners. I know there's other guns out there. I've shot some. I absolutely love the Glock 30. I've even talked to people at the this was several years ago, but I talked to one of the official Glock guys at a gun show, and I asked him about the 30. I said, you know, what's going on, man? I can't shoot as accurately with other guns as I can the 30. And he even said, he goes, yeah, the 30 tends to be a really accurate gun for whatever reason. And oh yeah, well, if we're going to get on in the gun, I also had it magna ported. This was a long time ago, so that definitely helps with muzzle rise, and it makes an accurate gun even more accurate because of the follow-up shots. Will be a little more closer to on target. I'm extremely happy with the Balder S. I just can't say enough good things about it. But go ahead and do a Google search for a Glock 30 Gen 3 with a recover rail and a Balder S light on it. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. Yeah, and a lot of the custom places, I even tried those custom ones where you can pick your gun, pick your light, pick your blah, blah, blah. And I can get real close, but in the end, they're like, nope, can't do that one. You know, and the price is extremely high, even if they start entertaining the idea. You're talking about over $100 for a holster that you have no idea is going to work. Most, but not all, but most holster manufacturers don't even have the molds for a Glock 30, so I had to end up making my own. And this was, I didn't mold the holster, obviously, but I made my own just to get an idea of how the holster fits. And this may not fit, because this one is slightly off spec. It's about 1 millimeter too high compared to that, and it's about 2 millimeters too wide. So when I made the adjustment on that, it no longer fits this. This one actually fits this prototype perfectly, and that's because I designed this prototype around the exact measurements of this one. And you can see it's a nice snug fit. When I subtracted the measurements from this one, it fit this one perfectly. So these are really close, but they're not exact, and so there's that. All right, I'm rambling. I may use this or reprint this again with the measurements adjusted, and we might get a Kydex holster going. I don't know. Pretty happy with what I got so far, and thank you. Thanks for checking out my video. Have a good one.